now. I'm out of here, y'all.
Wait,
Okay.
let me pull that info up on my thing. Hold on, Al. Hold on. Let
No,
me
it's
pull
already it's already gone now, Doc. It's already gone.
You gone? Goddamn, let me see. Facebook.
Trying trying to see what's happening. I hit it. I don't know if we on yet. Oh, we on. What's up, y'all? We're doing something different today. I'm trying to figure some stuff out, so don't be looking at me crazy. Uh, hold on, hold on. What's up, everybody? Jimmy, we here. We're in two separate places. Hold on, I got to turn that down. I got to turn that down. Uh, wow. So, but I got to be able to hear you, Jimmy. Jimmy, can you hear? What's up, everybody? We're trying to figure something out right here. Uh, I'm at home. Jimmy at home. Jimmy, what's up,
I'm in
man?
the office right now. Just man, I'm at the RCS Sports office. Get this game. Let's get this thing rocking. Where's Chris Walker?
I haven't texted him yet. Hey, Naya. I haven't texted Chris and told him to come in. Go and start the show, Jimmy. Uh,
Well, guys, welcome to the Chop Shop. We're definitely trying something different today and want to welcome you. Thank you for your patience. Now, of course, I'm Jim Hicks and yours truly, Robert Howard, is right there. And we're going to get into a lot of topics today as we do on every Monday. Meanwhile, first and foremost, I want to give a shout out to the Ridge Point High School varsity basketball team who went over to Yates in the back to school battle and took first place. This is a high school who are entering this season without their two leading scorers, both Isaiah LeBlanc, he's transferring out, right? And guess who else is
wait a
leaving?
minute, hold up. Isaiah LeBlanc just got there.
And he just gone from that.
Wow.
And he's not. That's not it.
Jimmy, that'll be
That's
three
not
high
it.
schools in 3 years. Am I right?
Okay.
Okay.
He's not the only one. He's not the only one.
Who else?
So guess who
else?
else?
Who?
PJ Haggerty is gone. So PJ Haggerty has left Ridge Point High School, and this is according to the head coach. And he's expected to enroll. We don't know where he's going to go. School doesn't start till next week for a lot of the schools around the Greater Houston area. But you have to understand, Crosby is the most likely destination because the young man is originally from the Baytown area. Guys, understand this.
Unbelievable.
This topic of significance. We're gonna get into a lot of the NFL stuff. A lot of you NFL heads who give a hoot or a damn about preseason football. We'll touch over some of that stuff, and some of the stuff had been off the court, off the field. We'll talk about some USA basketball and the latest guy who pulled the plug or pulled his name out, and we'll dive into that. We'll dive into the Astros and saw their winning streak stop in heartbreaking fashion yet on Sunday. But first and foremost, the rate of which people are transferring schools. Here's my thought on that, and that is this: is it like high school summer teams? Do you guys think that there's a direct correlation? If you see people transferring high school teams, right, at a high rate, then do you expect it? Is that to be surprised when you see them transfer high schools, colleges? You know, go off the court. Hell, girlfriends, boyfriends. You know, switch gears on sneakers. You know, I mean, you can just could. Isn't there a correlation somewhere that you guys can tell? I mean, so we said people said that it never can happen to them. You know, oh man, I got this right here. You know, then they go leave one high school, pick another high school, and then all of a sudden now, a few minutes later, you're leaving that school. So that don't that tell me, hell, don't that say
Hold on,
if
hold
you
on,
if you
hold on,
pick
Jay.
that school, first of all, you're at school A.
You
Yeah,
hear me, Jimmy?
yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out, okay, this where it starts. High school. Think about this, man. LeBlanc. Let's start with LeBlanc. He was at Kincaid, left Kincaid, went to Ridgepoint, stayed 1 year. Now he got another year. He finna go somewhere else. Jimmy, hold on, man. Now, okay, now you got PJ Haggerty. He was out. He lived in Baytown. He came to Ridgepoint. Now he's going to another school. But they switch hold up, and both of these same guys have switched summer league teams, grassroots teams before, right? Am I right?
Oh yeah,
So guess what?
yeah.
So when these guys make it to college,
Well, PJ Haggerty is younger. He's going to
I
10th
don't
grade.
care how young he is. So he
No,
learned how to
I'm
treat.
saying he hadn't had enough time. He hadn't had enough time to switch as many summer teams because he played with TJ Ford as the high school. We started keeping the clock once they get to the 15U grade.
Okay. He played with TJ Ford last year. He played with them then, but he ended the season with
But then,
Rossi.
he did it the season with Basketball University. Yes, he did.
Yes. Jimmy, this is a pattern. So now we understanding when they get to college, if things don't go my way, I'm gone. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I mean, is that what we're seeing right now? That's the question. I mean, understand something. These young men, PJ Haggerty, he left Baytown, Goose Creek Memorial, which is in East Houston, right in Baytown. He left that school in right as basketball season was starting. Remember this. He left and went over to Ridgepoint. So that means you didn't even give the basketball program a chance. He would have been the starting point guard. He would have been in the starting lineup, according to the head coach, Marcus Ebo. PJ Haggerty would have been the starter. So starting was not the problem. Playing time was not the issue because he went to Ridgepoint and started every game and led them in points. So that wasn't the issue. So the question is, okay, wait a minute. You went to Ridgepoint, and I'll pull this up for you guys. Let me pull this up. This is some good stuff. PJ Haggerty, he was newcomer of the year in that district. He averaged about 20 points a game as a freshman. And the relationship between Haggerty and probably Isaiah LeBlanc was probably part of the reason why Isaiah LeBlanc decided they wasn't coming back. So then you go and now you done lost both of them as the head coach. Because most head coaches will say, wait a minute, I got this ninth grader probably battling, having not necessarily those two kids. I'm just calling the kids out just because their names are the centerpieces from each of their families. And that's the price of being a star, price of being a top ranked player from out of the Great Houston area. So if the coach has a rising 12th grader and a rising sophomore, most of the time that coach is going to go and think about the future and side with and say, well, you know what? I got more time to deal with this rising sophomore. I'm not going to mess up the ship and run off the rising sophomore for the rising senior, whom I did not nurture from the 9th or the 10th or the 11th grade. Or 9th or the 10th grade. Just got both of them last year. So that was a gamble that the coach made, and now you've lost both players. But you got to deal with it because now the team came over to Yates, beat Yates in the championship of the back-to-school bout for first place. So really, understand, this is fall ball at its finest, guys. Doesn't mean a whole lot, but it's just a measuring stick of what the team is capable of doing. Now, mind you, Yates was without 2 starters. Cornell August was not there, right? You have one other starter that definitely wasn't there. The kid that transferred from Willow Ridge, that played. He wasn't there. But at the same, and of course, it was not neither team's full force of personnel. I understand that, but that ain't Ridge Point's fault. They won the event. So now, why do so many people? You pick the school, you pick the team, upon picking the school and picking the team, then you got to go and you throw in the towel after one season. You're done. Why is that in our society? Why is it so calm and so accepted nowadays? And guess what? Get a disclaimer. Not my kids. You can do whatever the hell you want to do with your kids. But I'm just saying the practice of where people are transferring so much. But of picking these damn schools. Obviously, like I said before, that means you're acknowledging, you're admitting if you have to leave and it's not an emergency, if it's not something that's life threatening, you lost your home, you have to move. Unless those are contributing factors, then that is an indirect way to say that you messed up on picking the initial choice. That's all I'm saying. And Chris Walker is joining us right now. And Chris, I know you've seen transfers at the college level as a college coach for over nearly 25 years. And Chris Walker has joined us guys on the Chop Shop. And on that level, the amount of the magnitude of which transferring takes place. Is that the cool thing to do now? Did that give the players leverage over the coach now? Tell us about that on the college side.
The funny thing, Jimmy, I'm glad we're talking about this. I was talking to a Big 12 school this morning, Hatter, and what's up, guys?
What's up,
and we talked about this one particular school had lost probably like 6, I don't want to say that team, probably 4 to 6 players last year. And, I'm speaking next week, got a book coming out. It's called The 10 Superpowers of an Effective Leader. Obviously, I've been a coach, leader all my life, one of coach leaders, speaking next week in Seattle about the same thing. Like, are you the leader or the coach? Which one are you? Right? And what I believe is, and I think what has to change, Jimmy, because these kids are like transferring like crazy. Now, it's a lot of the bad players transferring. Let's get that straight now. You got to realize most of the bad players are transferring. The other thing is what I'm telling these coaches and what I'm trying to, and I check myself at the door, put a mirror in front of me first. I'm prettier than Hatter, but put a mirror in front of me first, okay? The bottom line is, what the heck are you telling these kids when you recruit them? Right, Hatter? Like, tell me what you telling these dudes, because they ain't crazy by themselves, Hatter. Now, you can bring the mammy, you can bring the pappy, you can blame all them people you want, Jimmy. The question is, the coaches got to be held accountable too, because of the way they're recruiting them. Do you understand where I'm coming from, Jimmy?
Oh, absolutely.
What are you telling them? What are you saying? Oh man, you're gonna start right away. Well, what about the other 11 dudes that's already there, that's working hard, the 12 dudes that's working hard every day, or the 2 dudes that's already in his position? How does Alabama football recruit? Does Alabama football tell you you're going to start right away? Did he tell, I can't pronounce the kid's last name, that's the quarterback. Did he tell him he was going to come right in and take Jalen Hurts' spot, Hatter? Right? Or did they tell the kid at Clemson? Hell, remember that kid at Clemson that played in the national championship game? And then Trevor Lawrence comes in, and game 2, he gone. What are we telling these kids to make them so crazy?
How are we taking? Wait a minute. I think these situations are a little bit different. Being a college quarterback, I think it's a little bit different, Chris, because it's limited to the time that you can. If you're the starting quarterback, you're gonna play until someone get injured. In basketball, all you guys still can play together unless you're not going no good. Like you just said, only the guys not that good. In this case, in the football guys, these guys are good that are transferring.
And some good dudes transferring it. Like, again, I don't want to say the school. It's some good guys transferring too. But this is what I did, Hatter. So every day when I was coaching, and kids that know that play me, I always put the number 8 on my board every day. And they would walk in, they would be like, "Man, why you always got the number 8 up there?" I said, "Don't worry, I'll tell you in a couple of weeks." And that number 8 is always up there. And I said, "You know what? I'm gonna tell you what the number 8 means. It's 13 dudes. It's 13 dudes on scholarships. Only 8 of y'all playing. 5 of y'all better figure it out. It's 13 dudes on scholarship, and we're only playing 8 of y'all. We didn't tell y'all that in recruiting, but we're telling y'all that now."
You told those kids that.
It was right.
You told those kids that.
I put that number 8 up there. They saw it every day. They always wondered what the number 8 meant. I said, "Look, man, we only playing 8 dudes, man. I'm sorry. So if you don't want to practice hard, that's on you. But this ain't AAU. This is all-star basketball. Once you get to college, it's another level of all-star basketball. AAU is all-star basketball, right? Because every kid that play high school don't play AAU, right? When you get to college, it's the 13th grade. It's another form of AAU, but a high level. All y'all not playing. Jimmy, every kid on the sneaker team is a good player this high school, right?
Right.
Absolutely. Everybody on the sneaker team was the red ant and their Ant B. Exactly.
Some of them was, but keep going.
Well, yeah, I mean, aside from the money kid, and you guys know it's a whole different topic, understand the money kid, but yeah, and that's the whole thing. A lot of times it's a summer basketball. We can't hear Chris. And we're gonna plug Chris in. We're having a little audio difficulties right now on the Chop Shop. Of course, we have Robert Hatter, Chris Walker, Jim Hicks. All 3 of us live in the studio.
Yeah, you can hear me, right, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, Chris. Yeah.
Now we're big right here on top of you.
Guys, was I
Go on, Chris.
sorry? I'm gonna say I learned over 8 stuff that I lost me again. Hear me?
No, you just sound like a robot a couple of times, but it's okay.
What I was trying to tell you was all that state stuff I did at Milby High School. When I got to Villanova, they said, "We got Doug West. He get to shoot 15 times, you get to shoot 1 time." I'm like, "Huh? What y'all talking about? Y'all didn't tell me that when y'all recruited me." That's how this stuff go, man. People don't understand. When you get to that high level basketball, that's what's that? Who's a rapper that said that's level to that stuff? That's level to this.
Oh yeah,
That's level to it. They gotta understand. And Hatter, all they gotta do is watch one show. All they gotta do is watch one show to get reality. Tell them watch Hard Knocks. They'll learn real quick how it goes.
Did you see the kid get cut?
Watch it.
Oh my God, y'all better watch that show. This dude would hold up, y'all. I got Jim. I'm sorry, Jimmy. Let me just what you call it? What LeVar Ball said. Let me shift gears just a second. We can go back. But
right.
Jimmy, this dude, he couldn't go into the practice. He couldn't go in. So he said he was hurt.
Okay.
But he didn't take his butt to the trainer. John Gruden said, "You mean he ain't listening to us and ain't going to the trainer? Cut him right now."
Oh, did he tell him?
Jimmy, he cut him so fast. I thought they was gonna rewind and give us something else. He said, if he ain't going to the trainer and say he hurt, cut him right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Jimmy,
They went and got his jersey and cleaned out that little locker and put it in a bag and threw it over in the corner somewhere, didn't it, Chris?
They sent the Grim Reaper to get him. They sent that one coach, that Grim Reaper, go get his stuff.
Go get his stuff.
See, here's the problem in recruiting. Because these college coaches, and I throw myself in it, we so thirsty to get a player, we're afraid to tell them the truth. And then you know what we say? They'll figure it out when they get here. And then you got to do damage control all over again when they get there. It's hard. because them dudes have no idea what they getting themselves in the middle of. No idea. I was at the Skills Academy this weekend, right, up in LA. And I'm sitting there going like, there are dudes that actually think they belong here. That guy, no, I'm talking about the dudes that didn't get invited. And I'm sitting there going like, pro, not a pro, not a pro, not a pro. The dudes at the Skills Academy ain't pros. Everybody ain't a pro, Heather.
Oh no, it's not.
But they have to fill out 30 players and
right, I agree.
But the vast majority of who they probably deem that are possible.
Jim.
Yeah.
Come on now. So you just got to pick out 30 Nike guys.
Right.
Right? Because it's some more guys they could have filled in that better than some of them guys. Thank you,
no
Chris.
question.
I'm glad you brought that up because I heard the same thing.
Yeah, no question.
But there's some guys gonna go to that camp thinking they that dude though.
No, but here's the thing now, and I'm gonna tell you why it's worked for Nike. A couple of years ago, it used to be, they would go and get and wrestle guys from other sneaker lines, just like in the, like they do still in the Jordan brand game. It's one of the only places that they from across the sneaker line. Well, here's what happened. It started a couple years ago with the Elite 100. They made a conscious decision in grassroots to stay within their own family of Nike teams. Well, it kind of rubbed some people the wrong way because for years, you still could get in if you were good enough and played across the street. Well, when they did that, and what happened over the past 2 years with problems within the underbelly of Adidas, and then rumblings and problems and a change of the guard within Under Armour, Nike and the EYBL and the surgence of the EYBL and the prestige of it and Peace Jam and going through all of the stuff they went through and on the good side, guess what? Now they are to the good. They playing with house money right now. So that means if you want to be in that, you got to go play with one of those teams. That's what they're saying.
Right.
And guess what? You can't be mad at it because it goes back to what I say earlier, what I say all the time to people. You have to be accountable for your decisions. If you're going to play with Compton Magic, guess what? You can't be mad that you don't get into the Nike Skills Academy. You choose to play with them. It's a great ride. Compton Magic is great. I'm just using them as an example. You decide to play with Atlanta Celtics. That's your decision. But what happens is when you try to go walk back across the street in the middle of the night and creep on back across the street and say, hey, let me in. I'm on the road with y'all. No. If they do that, then it opens up the doors for everybody to go now and say, man, I ain't got to play no Nike team. I still can go to Skills. I can still play this team.
It's smart on Nike part.
Yeah. But my theory is that one of them 30, the few of them guys who ain't that good gonna be really thinking they that good.
Hey, fellas, I don't mean to cut y'all off. Did y'all see Rich Paul snap back today? Read his comment. You know what's funny? It was actually because I know what you're gonna say. He was actually pretty diplomatic about it. I thought it was pretty cool what he said.
Read it. I already told you he didn't have to.
But
he didn't have to snap back. He was snapping back, but guys like you.
But read what he said. He was very cool about what he said. He was like, yo, man.
But he didn't have to say anything.
What's that? Well, he got to say something.
He didn't have to say anything. No, he didn't. LeBron
but he made a good. You know what he said? But you know what he said though? He says, "Listen, man, I'm actually cool with kids that are trying to come out early, making sure guys have been in the business for 3 years. I'm actually cool with taking a test. What I push back against is that because I don't have a college degree or kids don't have access to the same type of resources other kids, they're not allowed to participate." That's really what he said. He said, "You saying because I'm different than the next guy."
They are able to participate, Chris.
They just can't deal with those guys.
No. They just can't deal with those particular guys. That's all.
Just read what he said, though. Just read what he said. He's snapping back at the establishment.
You talk about
Why you don't want to read it? It's information.
Tell me what Tell me what epiphany you got from reading that.
All I said is that just like everything else, the NCAA is trying to exact control over people of color. Right? He went there. He said, here's another angle of them trying to take control and impact people of color because they can do that. Tell me to make a rule that actually helps people of color instead of making rules that take away from people of color. Show me a rule that actually helps people of color. Make that rule. Let's start making rules like that, NCAA, instead of every time you make a rule is to impact people of color the other way.
So you're going to hold NCAA accountable to something you're not holding your own government up to doing it?
Well, hold on. Where you got to go there? See, Jimmy, like they said, coming to America. There they go. There they go.
No. I'm just telling you, you want to hold the NCAA who ain't thinking about you, and you don't even vote for it. You don't even vote for them, but you won't hold your own congressman to the same standard that affect black lives. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not just. I'm a registered voter. Adam, I'm a registered voter, so I know where you're going there. I'm a registered voter. Okay.
No, I'm not talking about you. You made a statement and I just want to. It's some people out there thinking just like I am. So you worrying about what Rich Paul said?
Oh, it's going at him. I think even though
Chris.
But listen,
I
you're
disagree.
right.
That's
you're right. All right, let me say this. I'm not saying that. Go on. Make your point.
I didn't say, Jimmy, put me on record. From day one, I said this is not a Rich Paul rule to me. This rule has nothing to do with Rich Paul. LeBron said, LeBron said that that was LeBron saying it's the Rich Paul rule. Nobody said it was the Rich Paul rule.
But it's out there like that now, so he got to respond.
Why did he have to even comment?
Because people are talking about it. That's all. How about this? Even if I agree with you, Hatter, it's a good opportunity if he feels something about the NCAA regarding this, he gets a chance to say it. He don't have to be voiceless. Like the NCAA just can't make rules and don't expect people not to have any reaction. So I think it was a good reaction. He didn't overdo it. He didn't say screw the NCAA. He didn't say anything negative. He was just like, hey, here's another chance.
Chris, guess what you just said?
What's
you
that?
said you stopped me and Jimmy mid-track to talk about the Chris. You stopped me and Jimmy.
It was a good read.
So I asked, what was your epiphany?
I thought they were going to blast the NCAA. They did. I thought they was going to go guns blasting like LeBron did in this thing. He didn't go that though. He took a different. He probably didn't write it on the cool though, but he took a step back.
No, you're very smart guy.
No,
Jimmy, I hope you
back. But had
I took my earpiece out.
Huh?
Better, thank you. I'm sorry,
Chris. You took that earpiece out of a different.
And I know that's impossible. Huh? I know that's impossible.
What's impossible right now?
Okay. No, for me to sound lower than you sound louder than me. But Chris, I love your take. I just didn't understand. I was just curious. Why should I go read that article? Jimmy sent me an article this morning that I should read.
What about the other one I sent?
No. And I'm going to say it to Chris as well. We'll talk about that tomorrow. We don't even bring the topic up today.
No, because I haven't read it yet. Okay.
Now y'all got time.
No. But it's a very deep article about the connection. I just give you guys a teaser.
No, Jimmy, don't do it, Jimmy.
Don't tease him. I got to tease him a little bit.
Okay,
what is it about?
I got to tease him.
What is it about?
It's going to tease you. It was going to show you the connections into the National Basketball Association from Einstein.
Jeffrey.
He has.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Epstein.
I said Epstein. I'm sorry, I said Einstein.
That's all.
Epstein. It's and on very serious as far as to realize his reach and that's smart. So table that. Let's get back now to one of the topics now. We're Shift Gears. We have Chris Walker live on the Chop Shop with us, of course, Robert Adams and myself, Jim Hicks, and we are going to go back to the foot NFL. According to sources, Dak Prescott turned down $30 million deal for 2 years from the Cowboys at $30 million a year. Chris, that's your beloved Cowboy. You are Dallas Cowboy, our resident Cowboy. You're the only person on here that loves the Cowboys.
Oh, that's not true.
Jimmy, I got
That's
a
not
question,
true.
Jimmy, could you help me out? It was reported, right? Who
It may
reported
not be
that?
true.
Yes.
Who reported that? I've been hearing it on the news.
Josine Anderson.
Josina.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So Hatter, hey Jimmy, before you finish your point, realize that Robert Hatter in the 70s and 80s was a Dallas Cowboy fan. And unfortunately, the minute you choose to be a Cowboy fan, you are always a Cowboy fan. So there's two Cowboy fans on the phone.
Jimmy here. I had Cowboy blanket, Cowboy curtains, Cowboy pajamas. Yes.
Hell no.
Hold
you didn't.
up. But I was a little boy. You know what the Bible said, Chris?
Oh my
When I was
God.
a child, I spoke like a child.
Oh
When
my
I
God.
became a man, I
my
put
God.
away those childish things. Hello.
So the question remains: did Dak? Hatter will let you go first. Did Dak Prescott, should he have taken that deal, or did he make the right move?
What has happened, Jimmy, is Dak Prescott, they messed around and gave Carson Wentz over $100 million guaranteed.
How many
Carson
years?
Wentz, huh?
How many years?
Forget the years. You don't worry about the years. He got
They were
$100 million guaranteed.
Oh,
Coach,
guaranteed.
Guaranteed. Don't worry about. Listen to what I said. It's hard. Over 100, about 106 to 160, right? Guaranteed.
Wow.
Now they probably gave. I haven't seen the contract, and Josina hasn't either. They probably gave Dak an average salary of $30 million, but Dak, who has beaten Carson Wentz 3-1, outplayed him 3-1. Zach saying, man, I got to have that kind of bread too. Forget that $30 million. You want the guarantee, because they can $30 million you to death and cut you if that $30 million on the back end of that contract. So don't ever think about in football, look at the deal. Only
Why
look
is
at the
football like
guarantee.
that, Hatter? Why is football like that, man?
No, but because those last 2 years, like even Tom Brady, you remember they just signed him to a 3-year deal so they can give him some more money now. But the next 2 years are voidable. Voidable means you can void out of them at any reason. So in other words, those last 2 or 3 years on most of those contracts, Chris, you can void out of them. You can.
Well, why does the NFL do that, Hatter? Like, why can't they do it like the NBA and the MLB? Why do they do that?
You got to be able to stretch that stuff out for salary cap stuff, Jimmy and Chris, because it looks good. But remember what I told you, because the NFL is such a violent game. They don't want you. They know you ain't gonna last 5 years. So, but I'm gonna give you a 5-year contract. But as a player, okay, I know you're not gonna honor those last 2 years of my contract anyway. Give me all my money up front. That's what Zeke want right now. He said, man, I want some more money up front. That's why it's all about you, because that's the only money that you're
Let me ask you a question. Why in the NFL, like the NBA, they don't do that. They don't go back. If they give you a 5-year deal, they don't go back and try to renegotiate.
Injuries, Chris.
But Zeke not hurt, and Dak isn't hurt. Zeke got 2 more years left on his contract.
But his propensity to get hurt and hurt for the rest of his career is way more likely now than if he played basketball.
Okay, but in basketball, he can snap his Achilles like KD did.
Yeah,
So,
but KD
so
got a chance of coming back.
But why do they get a chance to go back in their contract when they got years on it and renegotiate? In other sports, they don't do that.
It's called a collective bargaining agreement. That's what's in it. That's the way those owners want it, baby boy. Them owners run that. Ain't we done told you the owners in the NFL run that stuff? Jerry Jones and them run that. That's just the way it is. I put you, no. See what you're talking from a fan point of view right now.
I'm asking. I don't know. I'm asking.
Let's say you was the owner then. Okay?
I'm always the
Guess
owner.
what? Hold
I'm
on.
always the owner. Player, don't
Okay?
get it straight.
If we get Jimmy a contract,
Okay.
Jimmy gonna get hurt. I
Okay.
know it's a great chance that Jimmy gonna get hurt. I'm not gonna lock Jimmy where I got to pay him in 5 years. I'm gonna give Jimmy his upfront money, the money that I owe him. I'm not gonna be when he get old, because the older you get in football, the more more brittle you become. It's easier to hurt. Like that stuff Tom Brady. Let me tell y'all something. That stuff Tom Brady's doing is remarkable to me. That stuff Drew Brees doing is remarkable to me.
PEDs.
Anytime cheating. What you say?
PEDs. I said it. I said it.
Man, come on.
Hey, listen, man. Hey, Hatter, have y'all watched that deal on Netflix called Screwball? That thing about Alex Rodriguez and Tony Bosch.
Yeah.
Man, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it.
Okay.
Alex
Rodriguez too much TV.
Alex Rodriguez out of his mind. Let me tell you how hypocritical the MLB is. The MLB is so hypocritical. This dude got busted with steroids. They knew he did it. He lied about it in federal, and not a federal grand jury. He lied about it, and they got him on TV. They still let him have his name at the University of Miami on their field. It's the dude clearly. They won't let him in the Hall of Fame.
Hall of Famer, though.
They're not gonna let him in. They're not gonna let him in.
They're gonna let him in.
And this dude is on Fox TV talking about baseball.
And he got a hot woman.
And got J-Lo. Or hey, or Jamie Foxx says, hey, no, I can't say that. But you
say now
I'm sorry.
only thing is Dak Prescott, of course, this morning, Chris Carter said this morning that he's projecting that, and Chris Carter, his credibility is when it comes to football now, this is his sport. So he's projecting that a deal would be done within 14 days for the Cowboys and Dak Prescott, that they're going to solve this issue. Basically, the bottom line, a guy like Matt Ryan is making an average of $30 million a year with the Atlanta Falcons.
He ain't Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan has been to the Super Bowl.
He ain't Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan has been to the Super Bowl. Jimmy.
I understand that. But Dak Prescott is only 26 years old. And so the upside to him as a quarterback, it's not like he's a running back, he's a quarterback.
Jimmy,
so the Cowboys know. Say it again.
Dak is a ball managing quarterback. He's not no great quarterback. But guess what? If I was Dak, because it's my time, all of these contracts is about time. When you get Carson Wentz that kind of money, the next quarterback up is Dak. It ain't that he's the best quarterback. Tom Brady he's the best quarterback, and he's the 16th highest paid.
They gonna make him part owner though, Hal. They gonna make him part owner of the team.
No, man, the man just put his house up for sale.
But he's gonna be part owner of the Patriots or something. They give him money on the backside. I know. That means he's gonna be gone next year. That's what you're telling me?
You see how much, Jimmy? You see how much the house on
$39 million. $39 million.
Guess how much? I talked to the appraiser. Guess how much the appraiser appraised it for?
How much?
$12 million.
What?
$12 million.
I thought that sounded weird.
Yeah, the appraiser appraised it, Jimmy, at 12 million, 12 point some million. But guess what? Gazelle and Tom Brady that stayed in this house. So if you want it, you got to pay $39 million, bruh.
They out their mind. Ain't nobody buying that house for no $39 million.
Say, we got other NFL news we want to share with you guys that over the weekend. How about this? The projected starting defensive lineman for the Arizona Cardinals, Darius Philon, right, has been cut.
Oh, I saw that.
He's projected starter, right? Less than 24 hours after he was arrested and charged with aggravated assault for an incident that took place in May. It is August right now. They just became aware
about it. Jimmy, they know about it all the time.
So why did they just cut him now? Why did they just cut him? Remember, they just picked him up.
Jimmy, they gonna figure it out. Now they ain't got to pay him.
Well, see, what happened was
you cut him now.
Here's the deal. He was just arrested on Friday. The incident took place in May. Now he just got arrested on Friday at a court hearing on Saturday. where they officially charged him with assault with a deadly weapon. I tell you guys what happened. He basically went into the strip club, right? And
Oh,
yeah, your type of spot.
no,
And
not me. I
he
don't
told
go
two
to
girls.
places.
I want him number 13 was in there.
Hey, man, leave 13
Stop it.
alone.
Stop.
Leave 13 alone.
I wanted number 13 was in there. Ladies in the strip club, y'all come outside with me. They go out in the parking lot with him, two young ladies. Outside, something happened where it resulted in Darius pulling a pistol, and according to the report, he put the pistol in one of the young ladies' chests.
Oh,
and
God.
understand this is a man, a football player. So you understand, you're talking about I don't know what size these women are, but I'm sure they were smaller than he was. And he basically threatened her. He says, "Which one of you wants this bullet?" This is what he said.
Yeah, he need to go. That's
Hold
that.
on. It doesn't end right there. How about this? He leaves after that, so nothing happens that night. That was the incident. He leaves, comes back the very next night.
No, he
You
did
guys
not.
to the same strip club and then approach the same young ladies to try to smooth it out, to try to say, you know what, try to make good on it. And at that time, young girls weren't trying to get, no, they were like, I don't even want to be, hell no, get away from me.
Helmet
So
syndrome.
it
Had a helmet syndrome.
Jimmy.
This is unbelievable. And this young, understand how much money he's making. We talking about money a while ago.
Okay.
This young man, he just played in the preseason game for the Cardinals just past weekend. But the other day, they played on Thursday. And they won 17-13. This young man, he signed a 2-year, $10 million deal.
Yeah, I was gonna say $5 million.
Just pick it up. So he got the $5 million guaranteed already.
Mm-hmm.
They're cutting him. He gets to keep that. Is that right, Adam?
Yeah.
So understand, he's released his own bond right now on a $5,000 bond. Now, my question to you guys, do you think, based on all of the things that has happened, look over at Kansas City, look over at Cleveland. I can name various teams in the NFL. Do you think anybody's going to pick him up this season?
Yes. Just like Hannah said, them NFL owners don't care. They don't care. Can he play football on Sunday?
Jimmy, somebody might pick him up, man. And you know what?
You know who they ain't gonna pick up?
Here, something else did happen.
Right.
Other than this.
No
I'm
question.
just telling you that we don't even know about. And I know he just got, but something else has happened. And it'll come out. As a matter of fact, I got some people on that team, and I'm gonna find out. I didn't know you was gonna talk about that, but I'm gonna find out about it. And
Hey Jimmy, you know who ain't gonna get picked up? Excuse my French.
Who?
Kaepernick.
Who?
Oh, they're sick. Come on, Chris.
The Philadelphia. I just read something the other day. You know your favorite president said something about be good enough. Adam's favorite president. What'd he say? Adam, what's your favorite president say?
I turn it off when he come on.
He said if he good enough, somebody should let him play. Come on. Why won't they let this? You think is Kaepernick not good enough to play in the NFL as a backup, third backup?
Kaepernick, Chris, you already know my take on this. And why you going there again? Of course he is. They just don't wait. If Massa don't want you to play, you're not going to
Wow. Damn.
You say Massa.
Oh my
Massa.
God.
Massa.
Wow.
Massa.
Not touching that.
Jimmy, guess what, Jimmy? Have you noticed, Jimmy?
What's
Jimmy,
that?
we ain't went to no breaks. We don't even have to go to no breaks today.
Well, of course, the other day we actually right. We have went to a break and want to give you guys a break right now. And I'm going to share with you one of the breaks that we have, and that is on Thursday at 6:30 p.m.
Oh, yeah.
We are conducting our annual back to school drive at the Triple J's Barbecue, which will be held on once again this Thursday from 6:30 until supplies last. It normally takes about an hour and 10 to an hour and 15 minutes to serve about 400 to 500 students. We're going to be giving away free backpacks, clothing, sneakers, and to feed the kiddies. So, and we obviously going to have bottled water. Once again, it's not until 6:30 on Thursday. So if this is an opportunity, guys, if you are in the Houston area and you have kids and you are on the fortunate side this year economically, once you consider reaching into the back of their closet and getting out some of the gently used items to donate to this back to school drive. And that way now those items will be given away to a lot of the kids that come through to get their backpacks and stuff, because the after school clothing is just as important as those uniforms that are going to be given out. And the reason I say is because if kids get out of school and they don't have stuff to play in, then guess what? They're going to play in their uniforms. Then that means now the uniforms are going to have green knee spots on them, and they're going to be all stained and
No, Jimmy,
you know, this
Jimmy,
is not
Jimmy,
good.
Jimmy. In other words, don't give nobody nothing that you wouldn't wear. That's what I was
Well,
saying.
absolutely.
Don't
But
give
at the same
nobody
time,
nothing you wouldn't wear. That's why
I
I
say
like,
gently.
don't go in. I know what you said, but don't go in the back of your closet. Go take an item. If you blessed enough, go take an item, a couple of items that are not. I remember, Jimmy, even the other day when you asked me to help this guy out, and you said, "Go." You know what? I changed my mind. I went and got some stuff that I still want, and I didn't put it in a bag because I don't want to give nobody really nothing I don't want. Because if I don't want it, I don't expect for them to want it. So I redid that request, Jimmy. I'm giving this guy some stuff that I really want. But guess what? God has blessed me so much. And guess what? I'm running out of closet space.
Yeah, you want it, but you don't need it. Stuff that you would want, but you don't need.
Yeah, I'm running out of closet space. My closet space is at a premium right now. So I need it. So I'm gonna make sure. It's just luckily if some of these kids were my size, they're gonna be in great shape.
They're gonna have a lot of Nike stuff. Don't tell them.
And of course, that's going to be Thursday at Triple J's Barbecue on Homestead Road in Northeast Houston, right off the 610 intersection, the Loop 610 it is. That's the annual back to school drive. If you're interested in volunteering, or if you have something that you want to donate, some items, then simply send an email to us, chopshophtx@gmail.com. That's chopshophtx@gmail.com. Next topic we have up on the slate right now, we have Robert Haller and myself, Jim Hicks, on the Chop Shop. Want to ask you guys right now, since we're at the top of the hour, can you take out the time to share the show? We need you guys to share the show during the broadcast. That is so very important if you would do so. Let's share the show so that a lot of the viewers can get it, because I guess the digital presence of the Chop Shop is growing. But we need you guys to help continue it to grow. So now, next topic we have on the slate right now is USA basketball.
Jimmy, hold up before you go there. Listen to me. Do me a favor, y'all. I want everybody that follows us. Like I got people about to trying to follow me now. I'm going to accept you on Facebook, but I want everybody take out a little time today. Go over to Facebook. Go over to YouTube. Okay? And I'm going to keep the count. Go over to YouTube, and they're going to tell me, I want y'all to become subscribers to our YouTube platform. We about to do some powerful stuff on YouTube that Facebook won't allow us to do. So I want y'all to be the first ones on. Go subscribe. I want to see a significant change in those numbers this week. So tell a friend, tell another friend, go to our YouTube, Chop Shop HTX, and subscribe on our YouTube. Okay? All right. There you go, Jim. Huh?
Hey, I got one more topic, and I got to jump off y'all. So let's go. Where we going?
What you got?
We got one more topic. Now we're gonna breeze through. We got two topics. We're gonna breeze through one, and the other one is exclusively for you. But the
Okay.
first one is Marvin Bagley was down to the list of 17, has withdrew his name from consideration
mean,
for
man?
the team.
You know what that means?
No,
Hey,
you tell us what that means.
Hey, Hatter, was that one of the guys we said Ginsu? Was he one of
Yes,
the dudes?
sir.
He was a Ginsu?
He was against you.
So
He knew he was gonna
break
get
that down for a lot of the viewers out there.
Gonna get cut. Go, Chris.
Anytime you see a head coach that's going for a job that says, I'm withdrawing my name from consideration, what does that mean, Hatter?
I'm about to get cut.
There you go. I'm not getting the job. That's what it means. So his agent,
Okay,
I guarantee you, huh?
So here's the question. So to do that, kind of like that's unethical. That's not considerate of the process.
Why?
Isn't that kind of, I mean, that's not normally how it's done. You face it and you take it on to the end, and you'll be accountable for your action. You
Now,
decided and made a decision. Listen. Marvin Bagley, his and then decided to go and try out. Understand, when he decided to try out, he wasn't one of the ones that was added on just recently. He was one of the initial ones. And at the time he got invited, that was a whole slew of guys, maybe almost a dozen, who have took their names out. You damn sure wasn't going to make the team had all those guys showed up.
Well,
So now all of a sudden now you realize your feelings hurt now because you realize that there's somebody that's
No,
probably
he just want to take these extra few weeks off. Coach, he just want to take these. He know he ain't gonna make it. He said, "Okay, I'm gonna take these. Man, I'm gonna go on vacation with my folks.
I'm about to go to I'm about to go to Belize or something." But Hatter,
1, 2, 3, Cancun.
Cancun. But Jimmy, think about it this way. I worked with USA Basketball years ago when they had Rondo was trying to make the team. And when Rondo knew he wasn't going to make it, they had one day he had a bad day. And I was like, there's no way Rondo making it. The next day, guess what Rondo said? I'm withdrawing my name from consideration.
Yep.
He knew he wasn't going to make it. They just trying to gracefully depart. That's all that comes. It's Jimmy, you're in the media. You know how it works. You know how the media works. They trying to gracefully take his name out of it. And on top of that, somebody asked CJ McCollum, why are you not doing? He says, oh, man, hold on a second. I just got $100 million. Look at my usage rate. I had the third highest usage rate in the NBA. If I'm one of the top guys in USA Basketball and them other guys don't go, guess what that means? They're going to play me a lot. You know what my number one responsibility is? The Portland Trail Blazers and my family. I'm going to spend more time with my family, and I'm going to help the Portland Trail Blazers. He was like, damn, USA Basketball.
And everybody got different reasons, Jimmy. I'm going to tell you what I talked to, the most players I talked to, this year, the scheduling was messed up. And they won't have but 2 weeks. When they get back, they're going to have but 2 weeks before camp starts. Have you ever been to an NBA camp? Oh, my God. They run all of that stuff you done had in you on the summer. They try to get it out of you in that first week. So, yes, the scheduling, FIBA not messed it up. They changed the scheduling this year, and the guys don't have enough time to recover before they start the team. That's what a lot of guys told me.
And so
And
now as it stands
Melo ain't good enough. Keep going.
They just don't.
So as it stands right now, there are six. Yeah, Jerry Colangelo made it clear.
Yeah, that ship.
Now, 16 players remain in contention for the 12 spots. So we'll give you a chance to renew your Ginsus. Which 4 players are likely to be dismissed?
Okay.
Give me the players.
4 Boston Celtics. We'll go with them first. Which Boston? Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, Kemba Walker.
Jaylen Brown against you.
That's 4 Boston Celtics.
Jaylen Brown gone.
Jaylen Brown, Ginsu.
Both of y'all saying he's gone.
Like a turkey through the cone.
Now Marcus Smart is battling us.
Gone. Ginsu.
Okay, so
You
y'all
can't
bump
make the
Marcus
club
Smart.
from the tub. Hey, Chris, you can't make the tub from the club.
No, you can't. Keep going.
Now, okay, so now we have 2 Sacramento Kings, Harrison Barnes and De'Aaron Fox.
Let me tell you something.
Fox on.
Fox made it. Who that other dude had her?
Yeah, I don't even want to call his name. You know what
Barnes
I call
and
it?
Noble.
Hey, you remember that movie? It's a long time ago. Look it up. It's called It Takes a Thief. Alexander Mundy. That's his nickname. Alexander Mundy. Harrison Barnes.
Once again,
He been robbing the NBA without a ski mask.
so you're saying Harrison Barnes is gone?
Gitsu.
Or you
Go. Knock
Oh,
a
you-
turkey through the car.
Hold on. Now I'm gonna stand. Hold on, bookmark that.
Yeah.
How about San Antonio's Derek White?
But who's it? You got to realize
Pop
something,
is
Jimmy.
the coach. He gonna
Who's
make
the
it.
coach? Who's the coach of the team?
Pop.
Popovich is the coach.
He
There
gonna
you
make
go.
it. And they've
So
been
you saying
talking
Derek
about-
White makes this
Hold
team?
on. Jimmy, you've been hearing a lot of sound bites. He's been one of the best people in camp. He's got
Yes.
the best energy in camp. They done already worked him. They done worked him in.
It's called Jimmy. It's called media. You're a media guy. They didn't grease the wheels to make sure you make it.
Okay, so another guy, Mason Plumlee. Does he make the
Gitsu.
team?
Ginsu.
You mean to tell me you're not going to keep not one white guy on the team? They have to keep a white guy on the
Jimmy,
team.
I'm
They
gonna
can
say
have
it
enough
again.
more.
We're gonna have enough white guys on the
Hey,
other
Jimmy.
teams that we're gonna be playing against.
Is Russia gonna have a black dude? Is China gonna have a black dude?
Yeah, they're gonna have a lot of black dudes, white dudes.
Exactly. Gitsu. There you go.
Ginsu.
But 45 is the president.
Ginsu.
Oh. Hey, on that note, I'll holler at y'all later. I'll be back in the chop shop all day tomorrow.
Hey man, where you gotta go, man?
I gotta do
Chris.
Man,
Chris,
I'm trying to
Chris,
become
we
a
got
owner
one-
like you, Alan.
Chris, before you get up out of here, we got the magic question for you.
Okay.
The NCAA has banned BYU's leading scorer,
Oh.
Yoli Childs, for 9 games, right? After he went into the draft, took money from the agent, and claimed that he didn't understand the new revised guidelines. And now they say he's paid back the money. He's paid with interest.
Oh, no, he ain't paid the money back. He ain't paid the money back, but keep going. Somebody else did. You know how it goes, Heather. He didn't pay it back. Somebody else did. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something, Jimmy. Here's the funny thing. That's gonna be the new loan. That's gonna be the new
I
loan.
don't like y'all bringing this
Did the
subject up.
NCAA get this?
I don't like y'all bringing this subject up.
Listen, Jimmy, that's gonna be the new loan. They gonna put themselves in the draft. They're gonna take a bunch of bread. And they're gonna say, "Well, I didn't know the rules. The money already out there." Then somebody gonna help them pay it back. That's gonna be the new way they start doing things. Am I lying, Hatter?
You think so?
I help him.
I'm saying, so did the NCAA get this right? Did they make the right decision?
Chris,
Is the
hey,
9 games appropriate?
Hey, you know why we don't know, Jimmy? Jimmy, this is the most incomplete article that I've ever written in my life. There's no details about what happened, what they spent the money on. It could have been training. It could have been this. It could have been this. Jimmy, this is the most incomplete article. And look, I'm gonna show you how big look at this, how big the article is. So
Yeah, they
it's
don't
the
wanna stop
most
him, man.
incomplete article in the. I don't even know why they even talked about it.
They don't want y'all to see it up.
It's just
Well,
not,
no,
it's
well,
just
no,
not
it's-
giving you no information.
Well, the news comes from either the NCAA or the SID department at BYU, because that way, if you look at the top of your page,
Jimmy.
so
Wherever they got it from. They're
not going to give you
saying nothing.
details. But why would BYU give you more details if they're talking about their own player? They gave you more details. The suspension might turn into 19 games instead of 9. So why would they
bring
tell
it
it on
up-
themselves?
Why bring it up at all then?
Because they have to. That's the duty of the sports information department. If some news hit and your leading scorer is suspended, your duty is to let the conference know or let the world know.
Well, take this from me. Something else went on more than this here. That's all I
No
can
doubt. Who knows? Who knows? And we don't know. And why don't you put how much money he took? If you really want to like make people stop, tell him he took that $22,000.
No, Coach.
Put it out there.
Tiger Woods, Arnold Palmer took Tiger Woods to lunch. And they suspended him from a tournament. He couldn't go to a tournament. He had to pay the $25 back to Arnold Palmer when he was at Stanford.
We need to ban the NCAA. That's what we need to start doing. Ban them.
Now we're talking.
Hey, I gotta run, fellas. Chop shop.
Bye,
Make
man.
everybody share it. I'll holler at y'all.
See you tomorrow.
All
Hey,
right.
Jimmy, what about our starting five?
I didn't
Did you
write the
get?
starting five down. You got the starting five. You got the starting five today.
Yeah, I got five. I got five. I got five.
Well, let's
And
go
we ain't
with
got no
starting five.
music, so we'll just go. Melvin
We have
Dews.
Tyrone to give us our music.
No, we wait later. Melvin
Tyrone,
Dews.
Tyrone and give us our music. Okay, go with it.
And Melvin Dews, Corey Willis, Todd Holmes, Daryl Anderson, and Mika Cryer. LJ Cryer's mom. She was one of the first ones on. Mika, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page. Todd Holmes, Anthony Weston, Stephen Woods, Jimmy. I'm finna start calling them out. Everybody except Marcus Sloan. I don't expect for him to do it.
You don't expect them to do it. Now, here's what I got.
What you
On this article we just talked about Childs, there was one word in there that I want to go back to and need to ask you about.
Okay.
Remember this, when was the NBA draft was in June, right?
Okay.
The window from which they can declare and withdraw from the draft is at what period?
I got to look at that information, Jimmy. I don't have it.
Okay.
You got it.
So check this out. They said that he is paid the money back. Now I'm gonna read this quote from this article from the athletic director of BYU, right? He says there was some confusion with this new process, and I made some decisions. Well, I'm sorry. Let me go to the 80. Amid the confusion of the NCAA allowing student athletes to sign with agents and still return to school, Yoli was caught in the transition of the changing landscape. He has paid back all of the expenses, including interest. Really? So his interest that he has accrued on that money already in 2.5 months? Alan?
2.5 months. You can get some interest in 2.5 months, Jim.
So you took a loan. You took a loan.
Well, I mean, what if he had to train, food, rent a car, per diem? It's a lot of that stuff goes into it, man.
That's a loan. If you had to pay back something with interest, that's called a loan.
Well,
right?
He's just making sure that he's just making sure, and it could be called a line of credit. A line of credit. You still have to pay pension on a line of
that's
credit.
That's still a loan.
I know, but you called it a loan. I call it a line of credit. Because a loan, if I just give you $100,000, a line of credit, you might not use the 100. You might just pull out 20 or whatever. And you don't owe me interest on nothing but what you pulled out. That's a big difference.
But you saying it might be. I'm saying whatever he took out, whatever you slice it, he basically paid back interest on a loan in 2.5 months. In 2.5 months.
He didn't say how much. He just said whatever the interest. If I owe Jimmy, if you got my money for 2 months, then evidently we don't know. I don't know what the problem is. What's the problem with it? I want to know what your problem with it.
The problem is, understand this is one of the topics that proponents or critics of the NCAA has suggested and had suggested even when Condoleezza Rice and her commission had met 1.5 years ago. And that is, if you're not, one of the ways that you can help curb this type of situation is for the NCAA to establish a fund, a kitty, that certain people, if they're draft eligible, they could tap into interest-free and borrow this money from the non-profit organization that's the NCAA. So that means, and of course, the money would be up to a certain amount. Just say whatever they cap it at.
Now you're trying to turn the NCAA into a lending institution.
Hell,
now they have to hire people to manage. Excuse me. They have to allow people to manage. They got to hire extra people to manage those situations. Jimmy?
To manage them? That's automated nowadays, Hatter.
That's
automated.
That's what happened to the banking industry.
Hatter, it's not the same. It's not the same. if you have been deemed it's like they're going to deem, and they said this year, if you already been cleared and identified as a possible draft prospect, a serious candidate to be drafted.
It's different. These the people that's testing the waters.
That's what I'm talking about.
You don't have to be identified. You can identify yourself.
No, they have a committee. Just like, understand, they have a committee that they got to go through nowadays, and they're saying they're trying to implement it for next year. That once they deem that you're one of those guys, it's like going to the green room.
They talking about the kids coming out of high school, man, not these kids. That's the high school rule.
Yeah, I'm talking about the kids coming out of high school, but it's still a process of which they deem that you are of this merit. So it's the same thing with these guys.
No, if you're in college, not the same thing.
If you're in hell, when you go get a loan, it's automated now. You put your information into a on a website, and it's instantly they calculate what you can be approved for. It ain't like the old days. Now, if you're going for a commercial loan, you go into the bank and you see your banker and they let you know. But a regular car loan or a small loan, personal loan, that stuff is automated. It's automated now. They have the logarithms that they put into the system.
Jimmy, it's still some people on those automatic loans are somewhere servicing those loans. It's still a human element in it. It's still a human element.
A human element would have to grab the paperwork and print it, yes, and have to look at it and sign off on it. But the process is still automated for the most part. If there's a cap on what you can get.
I think we're trying to get into banking.
Because I'm saying something. I'm echoing what critics have said. Why don't they, with all the money that they have, they just spent and wasted $8 million on some damn camps last month. $8 million.
So they should waste the money on giving it to some dudes who trying to go to the NBA. That's what they should waste the money on.
They would have to pay the money back. You have a kitty.
So now they should waste the money on some guys just trying to get to the NBA.
You're not wasting the money. You're having a kitty available for them to get a small loan on that's capped at maybe $10,000. That's capped at maybe $20,000. They would have to pay it back, but interest free. If they graduate college, then it's interest free. You got to put stipulations in there, Hatter. If they just understand now, because they're student athletes, so you have to have an academic component into it. If you're the NCAA, that's how it is. So you look at this thing; they have already gotten in bed with the gambling casinos. That's the NCAA. They just got in bed with them now. So the bag is already open. Use some of that money, and that way now you can curb guys from having to go out and get in situations like this. This guy would not be sitting out now.
So you telling me right now, Jimmy, I'm trying to be clear. You just said something because it came over these airwaves. The NCAA is in bed with organized gambling or the NBA. NCAA is not in bed with them.
The NCAA is not necessarily in bed with them, but they are sitting there. Their lines, and their.
I know you were just going on and on.
Let me stand. No. The NBA. Let me stand correct on that. Not the NCAA. Not that damn stupid on that. But you gotta know what the hell I'm talking about. That's getting off the track. You're moving the meter. They have the means of which to set up. Hell, I just said I stand corrected.
Okay.
I'm wrong 10, 15 times a day, but I'm right 100 times a day. I'll take an 85 average. That's the school I came out of. So here's the thing. So mark that as one time wrong. But what I'm saying is the NCAA have enough money so they can set up a kitty. Once again, if you make a certain GPA, then you are eligible for this amount. If you graduate, you're eligible for this amount. But you have.
I got a question. Who would that be helping?
Interest free. Hell, think about it like this. If they wasn't a student athlete, they would have to pay Sally Mae ass back.
I got a question. Who would they be helping? The NCAA with this. They'll be helping the player, right? The NCAA ain't trying to help the player, Jimmy.
What do they help the players? They helping themselves. No, Hatter, indirectly helping the players helps the coaches. Helping the coaches helps the team. Help the teams mean more butts in the seat. Put it like this: if you Hatter, this young man we're talking about averaged 21 points and right at 10 rebounds a game last year. If you had a ticket to go see BYU opening game on the road, I don't even want to see BYU without him. That's what I'm saying. So now, guess what? I'm not.
I didn't even know of him until y'all mentioned him.
I'm not going.
I didn't even know of him until y'all mentioned him today.
Oh no. He's solid.
I said I did. Do you keep? You might have heard of him. I haven't heard of him. I ain't never watched BYU play a game. Not one. Okay. So I hadn't heard of him. So that's what I'm trying to tell you.
That was the first time you hadn't heard of everybody. That doesn't devalue what you hadn't, what the person is or the object is. That's the first time of all that. Just this kid has lost 8-9 games. Do you realize 9 games is almost probably the entire first semester for some schools? I don't know what BYU school, what their schedule is.
I'm trying to see
but
why
9
you're going on this crazy, this rant. This is crazy. It seems crazy. Why are you going on this rant? What's you trying to get out of this? Because you're taking my head is about to blow up. Because I'm trying to figure out what angle. I don't know what angle you're trying to go at. What angle?
What percentage of the players who test the water and with an agent do you think accepted money from that agent? What percentage? They went back
99.9.
Okay, so therefore, what just happened to him, if they wanted to pursue, it's probably didn't happen. They could have suspended some more guys for this very same thing at face value.
Jimmy,
so what I'm saying is,
I just told you, Jimmy, something else happened in this. You around here doing all this ranting and raving from an incomplete report. Something else happened here that they're not talking about. But it's got to get 9 games. Something else happened. Something else happened. I'm telling you.
So tell me this. How do you figure the NCAA isn't finally sitting up and standing firm on their commitment? At some point, someone's going to get the end of the stick. How do you know this is not the first time? You're making an accusation. Something else happened. What else happened, Howard? You don't say, I don't know. But okay, how do you know this is not them saying, you know what? We're going to crack the whip on you. You know why? Because it ain't North Carolina. It ain't Duke. It ain't Kentucky. It ain't Kansas. So they'll punish these guys, the have-nots. It seems like they always get the bad end of the stick when the NCAA swing. How do you know?
Excuse me. You're going off what you read. I'm just going on the history of me being around this sport and being able to be in the room with these people. Something else happened. I'm just going on. I'm not making an accusation. I'm just telling you something else happened, and and it's going to come out later. Something else happened. They didn't just pick on this boy for this. Hey, come on, man. If you feel they just picked on poor little old Mr. Child, they didn't mess with Roy Williams' kid. They didn't mess with Mike Krzyzewski's guys. They just picking on poor BYU. Come on, Jimmy. Come on. Nah, I just don't think so.
No, you're the child.
From Mr. Child, I call him Mr. Childs. I'm just sitting here saying, from this incomplete report that I told you, I documented it earlier. I said it's incomplete to me because they not saying what happened. And you talk about, well, the NCAA ain't gonna tell you. They ain't gonna tell you everything. BYU. Well, then how the hell? I mean, if I don't know everything, I'm gonna think something else happened. So give me some more information. That's all. What's the next topic?
I mean, give you some more information. Hell, or it could be them making the crib one time. They've been light on sentences for a lot of people. So this might be their chance. They're saying,
Jimmy, it's a new rule. They should be more lenient on the first year. That's why I'm saying I don't think they're trying.
No, but they just made a promise that they're not going to be lenient. That's what I'm saying. NCAA just said they're not going to be lenient.
Rules, They don't understand the first time you drove a car, you didn't do it right. The first time you fill out a test, you don't fill it. Dude, come on, man. Come on, man. Like I said, I still don't want to. I guess your saying is they wouldn't have did this to Roy Williams. I guess that's what you, and maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. But hey, is there anything else you want to get out of this?
I mean, it's something to just think on. It's just something to think on. That was my point,
Ain't
was
nothing for
about
me to think about.
them establishing the committee, a kitty.
I'm over that. Ain't nothing for me to think about.
He wouldn't have lost his eligibility if that was so now we have guys we're on the back nine right now on the chop shop, and now it's time to talk a little amateur basketball. We're going our mailbag, and in our mailbag we always have a lot of topics that people email to us or things we see on social media over the weekend. And we go, and after we crank up this mailbag and a lot of stuff is taking place, I want to also, at the top of the show, I gave props out to Jack Yates High School and Ridge Point High School. Of course, both of those teams made it to the championship of the Super Varsity Division at the Back to School battle. The varsity division was won by Hoop Nation 16 and under team. They beat the KDC in the championship. But one thing about Yates, if you're not in Houston, and I was looking at it because this event was the first time that Yates opened their brand new parking lot, which is on the back side of the school of this brand new school. If you hadn't been there, they have a brand new school building. And so I was in that back parking lot, and man, the architecture, the ambiance was it was heart grabbing, because you can stand in that parking lot and look directly over to the left, and you would see the University of Houston's football stadium, along with their practice and the practice facility, which has the big U of H logo lit up, beaming down at Jack Yates High School, as well as the whole Boulevard of Scott, which stands right in between both of those schools. Well, over your right shoulder, if I look over to the right, not over the shoulders, look over to the right, you have the
TSU.
Texas Southern University.
Right.
TSU is right across the street from Yates. U of H is right across the street from Yates. And a lot of times we don't embrace the opportunity for history to be able to relate properly. And a lot of these young people need to understand.
Jimmy, they've been there. What's the history? Ain't they been like that for years?
But this ambiance is different now because of the new
you're talking about
constructed school.
ambiance now. Okay.
The way you can stand there now, before you couldn't see both of them at the same time from any part of Yates.
Okay.
You follow me? Now you can stand in the Yates parking lot, and you can actually see both of them just as clear as day, unhindered by trees or anything. That's the only high school in the country. Huh?
I like trees. So we turning it into a concrete jungle now, huh? I like trees.
Well, understand something. Trees got to grow themselves. They just tore all this building down. So some trees may grow on the outside of the campus.
Right. I'm just messing with you.
The United States of America, that across the street from 2 Division I schools. There's no high school in America that is located, once again, across the street from 2 Division I colleges. Actually, from 2 colleges, period. So I just want to give a shout out to that, man. And they're the only school in the United States that has their own production company inside of Yates. They have their own TV station, radio station, and music studio. State of the art.
And you know what's so ironic? KTSU, they got the same thing at TSU. I mean, I know the high school has it, but TSU got a full recording studio for music and everything. And I'm saying, so right in that little area, it's a whole lot of stuff. So a kid just don't have to be an athlete. He can be something else. Jimmy, let me tell you something. And later on, y'all, it's a young athlete kind of stole my heart this weekend. top athletes, one of the top athletes in the state, one of the top athletes in the country. He got a little injury. Okay, I don't want to embarrass him, so I don't want to tell his name. Had a little injury, and he had the injury going through some drills his dad had sent him through, right? So I asked him, I said, boy, your dad hurt you? He said, man, let me tell you something. He said, I knew that I shouldn't have been doing those drills. I knew that I didn't need to do that. He said, but guess what? My dad told me to do it, and I obeyed. I said, wow. Jimmy, most kids in this kid's position, man, this kid said, my dad said it, and I just obeyed. So, I mean, I'll talk about it later sometime because I don't want to embarrass the kid, but it's unbelievable. We still, because I know we talk about what these kids are not doing. We still have top student athletes out here that respecting the game, respecting the hustle and the grind, and respecting their parents. So I don't want to hear about and he one of the top guys. So I don't want to hear about some of these other guys who are not doing it. So I thought I'd share that with you today before we go into the mailbag.
Well, let's get right into this mailbag. And of course, the mailbag today, we go into a lot of the things that happened over the weekend, and a lot of on the chop. One is a sign I saw this past weekend. Well, I didn't see it. I saw it on social media. Mm-hmm. It says shop local. You know what I'm saying? You pass by on the hotels, the billboards. They shop local because Amazon won't sponsor your kids' ball team.
Wow.
I like that. I had to give credit to that one right there. And
Jim, you remember I keep telling y'all, I think I'm the only person who's I've never ordered one iota. Jeff Bezos haven't got a quarter of my money. I've never ordered it for anything on Amazon, ever. Because, I like to go to the store. I'm still one of them guys that like to get it from the store.
Now, we have another one, and this is from Coach Favre up in Dallas, Texas.
What are you doing in Dallas?
His brother coaches in Dallas.
Oh, Keith. Okay. All right.
He said, if these players couldn't dribble, shoot, dunk, would y'all still be worried about their well-being? I never see a tweet about their grades or graduation hours.
Saw that. I saw that.
So now, be honest with yourself. If the kids couldn't dribble, dunk, right, shoot, would you still have that same energy towards helping the kids? And you know the answer already. You know the answer.
What? I know you wouldn't. I know you wouldn't.
Well, remember now, I was one of the first guys in the Houston area that stepped out on the plank and said that I don't do it for the kids. Remember that now. So now you see other guys.
That's why I said I know you wouldn't. I said I know you wouldn't.
So understand. But really and truly though, I'm also one of the other guys that have made buns for kids, helped with funeral expenses for kids that got killed. People say, "Oh man,
were they student athletes? Were they student athletes? Were they student athletes?
Not all of them. And so that's the thing. So remember now, it depends on what's your quest. That's why I always tell people, ask the people that's involved in your son's or your daughter's life, what's their end game? I
think it's not fair because 99.9% of them, their end game is just going to go to college and get an education. So what do you think those guys, what will you think? 90, remember I said 99.9.9.9 are the ones that's going to make it to the NBA. So what could there be to the guys to be around their sons? What? Because you implied that they. What other reason? If they, I don't understand. I don't understand what you're saying. Because it's not like not one of these guys that I'm doing something right for right now. None of these guys I'm doing something for right now, Jimmy. What could they do? They couldn't do for me. They ain't gonna be no pros. All I want a guy to be a productive citizen. Because I don't have a program for them to come back and give to. So whatever I do, I'm just doing it. So I don't have an end game. You follow me? I don't have an end game. He's down there 7 feet. Cam, you know his name, Cameron. So I'm just trying to figure out what do you mean by what the guy's end game is? What you mean by that?
Most people, in most situations, there's an end game, a reason for people that every summer coach, if his end game is for you to get a college degree, then that's his end game for you. If the end game for the next guy who's 7 foot tall is end game for him to make it to the pros, that's his end game for him. End game there's an end game, there's a reason that most people are going to go the extra mile for your kids. If you're paying them monthly, then that's a business now, a relationship now. It is. Stop paying that damn monthly fee and watch what happens. You think I'm joking? Stop paying that monthly fee and watch how the relationship starts to churn in a different direction. So,
but if you're supposed to pay a monthly fee, Jimmy, pay your
okay, but I'm saying it's a business relationship now.
But
it's a business relationship.
But guess what? It's okay as a parent, me, to pay for my son.
It's a business relationship now. You have goods and services. You're paying for your service. So that means now the same ideology is that I just love this thing. I do anything for it. I'm gonna bring over backwards. I'm gonna go to the moon for it. Well, no, as long as they paying that fee.
I got a question. What's the percentage of these guys out here you feel have that particular attitude you're talking about?
Which particular attitude?
The percentage now is just business with me. If your kid couldn't play, I don't want him around me. Tell me, what's the percentage?
That's not going to be the attitude that you're going to get that's going to be right there visible. But if your butt stop paying, it's inside of most of them. It's inside of them. You pull it out of them when your ass don't pay that fee no more. And watch it come and watch it's like David Banner and the Incredible Hulk. Watch the Incredible Hulk comes out.
So
when you don't pay no more.
So you telling so your message is, parents, these guys are not your friends. These guys are
they can still be friends. It's a business relationship now.
What about the guys who don't pay? What about the teams that are sponsored and the mamas and daddies don't have to pay nothing for the kid? What about them?
What about them?
What's their relationship? That ain't business. What relationship is that?
No, it's not a monetary relationship with that. So therefore, that's a whole different set of circumstances and a whole different set of lines that's in the sand. Because if those teams that are 100% sponsored, that means now for those kids to get to where they're going, guess what? It is what it is. You get what you pay for. So why you're asking what you probably mean is, what does it mean for those coaches? What are those coaches are doing it for? that are
That's what I'm
sponsored on the
saying.
sponsor
I'm
team.
asking you, Coach, since you seem to know they're not doing it.
A lot of
said,
those
you said
listen,
they got
the,
ulterior motives.
the ground rules change with the sneaker teams. That's the abnormal part. That's the small part. That's not a whole. That's not even what we're talking about. You made it to the promised land. You play with one of those.
But
So
the
therefore,
statement you made, but the statement with how we started this thing out, you saying if they are not, do you think if they couldn't play basketball, how would people be concerned about it? Ain't that what the statement was that Favre had said?
yes, that's what the
wouldn't be
initial statement.
Okay.
It wouldn't be as concerned. You wouldn't see that same. You don't see the. In other words, he said he doesn't see the same energy about graduation rates and about grades. Well, these guys are about academic coach. Now, you're not going to. You don't. Why should you expect to see it on this side of the fence? Travel basketball. That means that first and foremost is athlete student, not student athlete to those guys. That's why so many of them have a ratio of kids or an abundance of kids that may not be academic qualified. That's why you don't see kids traveling with books on trips. That's why you don't see kids having study hall there are a lot of teams that do that. But then there's most of them don't. That's what I'm at the high school level. At the high school level, I'm talking about. Most of them don't. So they're dealing with the athletes first. And in their mind, that's why a lot of the blame start to churn out of that, because they figure they're trying to help and enhance the opportunity of the young student athlete to attain a free education to college. And in doing so, it's your job to go and make sure they pass in school for some of them.
Okay.
But
I
then,
got a couple more. Let's move on. I got a couple more. I'm trying to see which one I should talk. They was talking about talented basketball prospects, Jimmy. And somebody said, talented basketball prospects, understand that you're valued as a human first. People that measure you based on your talent are the people you need to stay away from. I'm piggybacking on what you just said. Your talent makes you rare, but not more important as a human than anybody else. Be humble and thankful will take you far. What do you think about that?
I mean, the people that measure your talent, you stay away from those people. But understand something. Once you're in it's different layers of this stuff in we talk basketball and in sports, in youth sports. It's different layers. And the culture of which personifies youth sports has directed into a whole different area. Whereas people have found ways to generate supplemental income off of youth sports.
It's
for
good
years.
money and bad basketball. That's what they told me.
No.
Somebody
it's
said
a lot
good
of
money and bad basketball.
Absolutely. So, but before now, do you think that people just started off of youth sports? Do you understand the concept of what the AAU was founded on? Well, not founded on. One of the concepts for which it grew off of. A guy named Bobby Dodd, one of Hatter's homeboys from Memphis,
Talk about that.
was the overseer of the AAU for years. Bobby Dodd owned the insurance company. He was in the insurance business. The AAU is a non-profit organization. So Bobby Dodd connected his insurance business with the AAU. Every kid, no matter what sport he played in the AAU, had to go and get a $10. That's all it costed. Was a $10 insurance policy.
Jimmy, can we take a break? Jimmy, it's breaking news just happened, Jimmy.
Breaking
Trey
news.
Phillips put it up on there, and somebody just text me. They said 6 hours after Rich Paul put that piece that Chris Walker was talking about in The Athletic, the NCAA has amended its criteria and no longer requires a bachelor's degree for NCAA agents. Unbelievable.
That's good news. That's good news. So you saying unbelievable, but know what that's saying now? That's saying now
No,
that
that's
black
telling me
people.
how quick they can change a rule.
That's one. But it also saying now that black people, you have a voice, and if you use your plateau, your platform, to vocalize, to mobilize, this is what can happen.
Jimmy, you think, Jimmy?
This is what, dude. This is big.
Jimmy, do you
This
think
is big,
them people worried about you mobilizing? Jimmy,
dude.
that's just Jimmy.
Hold on.
It ain't
What
had
just?
nothing
Hold
to
on.
do
What
with
just?
it. That ain't
What
had
just
nothing
happened?
to do with it.
Really?
It
So
just
Rich
changed
Paul
the
ain't had nothing to do with
rule.
it.
Maybe they went and said, "Man, this ain't right."
Why? Okay. After what happened? After people said how crazy it was. After people said, "Oh," after you pitted, after basically, you just took on indirectly the NCAA. You took on one of the most loved guys, one of the idols of most of your student athletes in the sport of basketball that you're regulating. You just took them on. You're saying,
Who took them on, Jimmy?
hell
Nobody
with
took them
LeBron.
on. Ain't nobody took
The
them
NCAA.
on. Ain't nobody took the
NCAA took us.
NCAA on.
Dude, if the NCAA shot a BB, a pellet at Rich Paul, that means you shot at LeBron.
You know what that showed me? You looking at it that way, it just showed me how quick and how easy for them to change these sorry, archaic ass rules they got. Like unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, you looking at it and think they was worried about. No, something else. Like I said again,
Oh man,
it's
come
more
on
than
now.
us, you black folks running your mouth on Twitter. Got them people to change their mind. I'm just telling you that.
White
Now,
folks,
if you
the
think
white folks
it's that easy,
complain they
if
make
you
that
think it's
happen.
that easy, we need to talk about everything. Hey,
Dude.
I promise you, excuse me. I promise you, it's more black folks was on Colin Kaepernick's side and was pushing for him to get in. He ain't got in the league yet.
That's football, Negro. We talking about basketball. In basketball, it's different. Football, that's a whole different thing.
No.
What you mean? Yes, it is.
That.
Dude, football
So
is different.
This can only happen in basketball. This can only happen in basketball.
Of the major sports, this is the only one that for African Americans. Now it can happen in baseball, but it have to be a Dominican uprising, and they can't afford to do so because many of those guys have came and basically came over here against the wishes of their country.
You just think different, man. I'm not gonna try to.
Now you're not willing to give. Now you're gonna go and purposely do everything in your power to not give the credit to where the credit is due right now. They went and those guys spoke out. And those guys spoke out.
Don't use me. Just use your point of view. Don't worry about what I'm doing. Run your shoes over. Let me run this.
I'm rejoicing over here because guess what? You just told Chris Paul earlier, man, that stuff ain't matter what Rich Paul saying. And guess a few hours later, the NCAA go back and they say, "Oh, you're right."
They didn't do it because of what the hell Rich Paul said. I bet you $100 to a bucket of shit. Bet that. I bet you that.
So they didn't do it because of Rich Paul said. They didn't do it what LeBron said. Rich Paul, what LeBron saying is Rich, but it's all in one entity. What came out of that establishment.
Hey man, let me tell you something. I'm through with it. If you want to believe that bullshit, believe it.
That's almost one.
You got my position. You got my permission.
Dude,
So why don't hold on. Now why don't you take this same energy and change some of the other archaic rules? Excuse me, not in football, in basketball. Change some of those other archaic ass rules. If you think this works so well, try it again. Try it again.
Such as what rule? Change such as what? Such as what?
Man, you complain about the NCAA.
You just said change the rule.
You complain about the NCAA every day. You complain about the schedule. You complain about this. You complain about this. You complain about Condoleezza Rice. She ain't never hooped. Ain't none of them. You complain about it. Do me a favor.
No. That's Chris Walker. That's not me. No. Understand something. No. You're missing my stance. You're missing my stance. Totally. Which that was never a live period. It makes me more money. It's not a live period. You got me backwards. I don't care if the NCAA cut it all out.
Period. I said change the schedule.
What can the NCAA do to affect me? They can't do shit to affect me.
Hey, Jimmy.
You know that. There's nothing they can do to affect me.
About your ass. Every time a conversation, excuse me, sir. This conversation don't make it personal.
You just said for me to change the rules.
Guess what?
You said break some
rules. No. Jimmy Hicks ain't gonna be affected by nothing. The NCAA that rule just changed. It ain't gonna affect your ass at all. Okay?
Absolutely. That's right.
Not personal. You got to always talking about something personal.
So if you wanted me to, you wanted me to give you. So what are you saying? You just said a while ago for me to go and raise up stir up some noise to change some other rules.
You got so much energy. Hold up. You got so much energy. You'll see what can happen when black folks get together. You can change the rule. And I'm telling you, it was bigger than that. That's the point I'm trying to tell you.
Dude, LeBron James and Rich Paul, whatever you in your mind, they are getting credit. They're getting credit for this one. This is a win for LeBron and Rich Paul and their family. This is a win for them. Whether they did not, they getting credit for it.
The rule did not affect Rick. Oh.
It don't affect Rich Paul. It affect the next guy that aspires to be Rich Paul. Crowder, did you even read the comment?
It don't even affect the next guy who requires to be Rich Paul. Don't affect nobody. Let
me read this comment to you. I'm gonna quote you guys from Rich Paul.
Other people comments.
This is Rich Paul words. Hell you mean? He said this. I'm gonna quote Rich Paul in this. He says the harmful consequences of this decision will ricochet onto others who are trying to break in. The NCAA executives are once again preventing young people from less prestigious backgrounds and often people of color from working in the system they continue to control. In this case, the people being locked out are kids who aspire to be an agent and work in the NBA and do not have the resources, the opportunity, or desire to get a year degree. He concludes by saying, I actually support requiring 3 years of experience before representing a kid in the market, and a kid testing the market. I can even get behind passing a test. However, requiring a 4-year degree accomplishes only one thing, systematically excluding those who come from a world where college is unrealistic. Do you really believe a 4-year degree is what separates an ethical person from a con artist? That's Rich Paul. That's his quote earlier, that was released this morning. That's Rich Paul. And so that's what he's saying. Once again, the things I get out of that. Lastly, do you think a 4-year degree separates an ethical person from a con artist? That's one bullet from out of that. But second, if you missed it, if I was reading too fast. Another thing he says, the NCAA executive. I mean, he's speaking directly to the NCAA executives, and he's accusing them. They are once again preventing young people from less prestigious backgrounds and often people of color from working in the system they continue to control. That means he's acknowledging basketball, which is over 70% black, of the players. That's what I mean by control. And you see the guys like the Zions coming out as of late, and before that, the Anthony Davises, and before, it just goes on and on. So guess what? What happens next is to be seen. But I tell you one thing: this is a victory for those who are having faith. This is a victory for the young guy who don't have a degree now. Get your ass 3 years of experience, and now you can still that eliminate the excuse. The 3 years of experience, that's not easy to do, because they know the guideline. Go take that test, pay your money if that's an annual fee, do whatever else you got to do. But now, for those that don't have a degree, it takes that out of the equation. So I'm good with that, and of course more now as you guys go and proceed with the rest of your day, you guys are going to see more shows. This topic is going to move to the forefront all the way to in the morning, and you'll see how people how they receive this decision from the NCAA to now remove the requirement of having a bachelor's degree from representing the young men who are testing the market. So guess what, guys? With that being said, we are up against the clock, and it's about time to yabba dabba do this thing and slide on down Dino's back. We definitely appreciate you guys for the experience, but we're going to ask you guys once again, if you hadn't done so, to share the show. Share the show with your friends, if you would. We definitely appreciate the Chop Shop. We're going to continue to get better. We're testing some new things out, and with your help, we definitely need you guys to help us with our footprints in the digital and social media platform. Don't forget, we're on YouTube. We're on YouTube as well as on Facebook. You're watching right now, and that is our handle, Chop Shop HTX. Once again, guys, see you guys in 22 hours, and we'll go back. Thank you guys for all the comments, man. Appreciate all the work. Thanks a bunch, Trey Phillips, from
thank you, Trey,
for dropping that news, that link on the site, and we love how you did that.
Jimmy, I hate that. I know you done ran out of talking all that mess, but I hate that because we started maybe. Did we start on time today?
Yeah.
Daryl Anderson, not you being registered. I mean, have you subscribed to the YouTube network? He said he registered. I guess that means.
Well, yeah, he gonna get it. He got
Dr.
it.
Newsom. Thank you, Tyrone. Hey, let me tell y'all something. This technology could not have been done without the help of the soapbox hero fame, Tyrone Irvin. Thank you, sir. Thank you a million years for bringing us, into the 21st century of technology, where if we don't have to be, the show don't stop if we don't come into the studio. You follow me? And then you can get both of us. We're going to figure out a way to put us both on the same screen. Jimmy, we might have to do this again one time. I kind of like this a little bit. Hey, I kind of like this a little bit.
It's time to get up out of here. You're going to be talking to yourself now. I'm up out of here. See you guys. Peace.
All right. Bye. Now I got 5.